Holy fuck!
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing a horrific disaster. The Nanfangao Bridge in Taiwan has just collapsed. Look over there. The entire structure has fallen into the water, creating an unforgettable scene. Fortunately, that boat managed to escape, but we don't know if anyone else is trapped down there. Destructive power. The bridge was torn apart like a toy. Who could have imagined this scene? The floodwaters rise, submerging everything. Nature is sounding the alarm. The flood cannot hold on. The bridge collapsed in the blink of an eye. The rushing water swept everything away, like a warning about the brutality of natural disasters. Danger warning. The bridge could collapse at any moment. The barge has caused an unimaginable collision. Is the bridge structure still safe? It's terrifying.
Lives in the area, the road was in good condition. The tunnel beneath was no match for the water.
The road seemed to be swallowed by the fierce waters. Witnessing the terrifying power of nature, the people holding umbrellas stood by helplessly.
At least the
destructive power of nature. The bridge could not withstand it, submerging everything in the floodwaters. A warning about the dangers of flooding. When the city turns into an ocean, humans suddenly feel small in the face of nature's power. The car is submerged. The bridge is flooded with water. Warning! The bridge is no longer safe. The floodwaters have submerged everything. The bridge is shattered, and the fierce current is ready to swallow everything, witnessing the terrifying moment when the structure collapsed under the power of nature. Could this be the end of the road? Amidst the hazy fog, the broken bridge stands as a chilling warning. What caused this disaster? The power of nature, or some dark secret? Let's explore the mysteries hidden behind the fog and find the answers before it's too late. Bridge disaster. The bridge broke in half, creating a massive chasm. Traffic is paralyzed, and it's unclear what the human and material losses are. A truly horrifying scene. The precarious bridge amidst the floodwaters. Will it stand firm against the furious power of nature? The bridge suddenly disappeared right before our eyes. The motorcyclist narrowly escaped death. A sudden disaster struck. A horrific disaster in South Korea. The highway bridge under construction has collapsed. The scene is like the apocalypse, unbelievable. Nature always has a terrible power beyond control. Have you ever witnessed a disaster? Share in the comments. If like the video, click like and subscribe to watch more interesting content.
Everything is still peaceful. The working space is quiet. But then the aftershock occurs, causing the tables and chairs to shake violently. Everything is still peaceful. The working space is quiet. But then the aftershock occurs, causing the tables and chairs to shake violently. At rush hour, everyone is hurrying home, when suddenly, the ground shakes as if it's on a seesaw. Motorcycles sway. As for the monument, it swayed a few times and then took the liberty to lie down completely.
The sunset is breathtakingly beautiful, the sea breeze is refreshingly cool, and a few cars are quietly parked in an incredibly peaceful scene. But then, everything starts to shake. The ground trembles. The cars bounce as if they are in dance mode. I thought it would be a night of partying until dawn, but then bang bang, the ground shook, tables and chairs swayed, the scene was like a drum festival. Everything was flying around. Everyone who was sitting suddenly jumped up, and ran in a panic, faster than when the bill was being settled. The lesson is in progress. The teacher is lecturing and the students are focused. Oh no, some are writing notes while others are daydreaming, staring out the window. Everything is still normal. Until, bang! The ground shakes. The desks and chairs rattle. Books fall with a thud, and the ceiling fan sways as if it's about to fly away.
We are witnessing a truly horrific natural disaster. A tsunami is attacking the city, and floodwaters are rushing inland. Cars flipped over like children's toys. Houses completely destroyed, flattened to the ground. Oh God, it's horrifying. Let us pray together for this disaster to end soon so that everyone can return home safely. Oh my god. A horrific disaster has struck Japan. A gigantic tsunami is roaring ashore. The entire city is submerged in water. Everything is swept away in the blink of an eye. Look! Cars are spinning like tiny toys in the fury of nature. Buildings are trembling before the terrifying power of the wave. The ground is shaking, the sky is gray, no one can escape. This is a life and death moment. Look at that, audience! A large fire is breaking out amidst the flood. The flames are raging fiercely. This is truly a very serious disaster. Hopefully, no one has lost their life. Oh no, it's really chaotic. Natural disasters are unpredictable. I hope everyone there can stay safe and receive help soon. Oh my god. Look! A torrent of black mud is rushing in like a giant, hungry, unstoppable monster. It is swallowing up an entire stretch of land, sweeping away everything in its path as if it were clearing the ground for free. here it is. A flash flood is attacking the Wawee Basin in Utah. Look at the murky water flowing, suddenly appearing like a fierce monster.
Oh my gosh, the ground is shaking violently. It feels like the whole city is doing hip-hop and no one wants to join in.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a terrifying and spine-chilling sight. I am standing before one of nature's most intense moments, a volcanic eruption, and there it is. The volcano is roaring. Fire and lava are erupting violently, surging like a fury unleashed from the depths of the earth. The blazing, molten lava cascades down the mountainside like a gigantic fire dragon, incinerating everything in its path. I can't believe my eyes. Right in front of me is a boiling lake of lava, so scorching that nothing can survive. Thick black smoke billows into the sky, shrouding everything in darkness, while waves of ash rain down like a storm from the underworld. Ladies and gentlemen, this is nature in its most ferocious form, a scene both terrifying and magnificent beyond words. Oh my god, this is the most terrifying nightmare I've ever witnessed. Right before my eyes, a colossal wall of water, taller than building, and is crashing toward the shore at an unstoppable speed. A tsunami. It's swallowing everything in its path, wiping out the town as if human structures were nothing but fragile toys. The wind is howling like a beast. The sky is pitch black and lightning is tearing through the darkness. In the distance, I can see a cone-shaped mountain, possibly a volcano, shrouded in chaos and destruction. People below are screaming, running for their lives, but the monstrous wave is closing in too fast. Look at that. An entire street has turned into a raging river. Cars are flipping over, houses are being torn apart, rooftops are floating like leaves in the furious current. Debris, trees, and shattered buildings are smashing into each other, creating a horrifying apocalyptic scene. I'm on higher ground, yet I can feel the earth shaking from the sheer force of the water. The salty mist burns my nose, and the wind is so strong I can barely stand. Below, the tsunami continues its relentless assault, devouring everything in its wake. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a movie. This is reality. A catastrophic disaster is unfolding before my eyes. I can only pray that people find safety. But right now, I don't know if anyone can escape the wrath of the ocean. Oh no, right in front of me is a massive, terrifying tornado, more powerful than anything I've ever seen. Look at that. It's spinning violently, pulling up a colossal cloud of debris, swallowing everything in its path. The wind is howling like a monstrous roar. The ground is trembling and the sky has gone completely dark. The tornado is tearing across the open field at an insane speed and, oh no, those farmhouses ahead, they are in serious danger. Look at this destruction. You know, wooden beams, metal sheets, even entire cars are being tossed into the air like mere toys. The tornado is shredding everything in its wake. Homes are being ripped apart in seconds. I can feel the immense power of nature right now. The wind is so strong, I can barely keep my balance. The tornado keeps churning, roaring like an unstoppable force of destruction. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a catastrophe. This is no ordinary storm. This is a monster. I can only pray that those in its path have found shelter in time. Lightning bolt just struck near the power pole, flashing like the universe just took a photo. The sky lit up, and my heart nearly skipped a beat. If you missed it, too late. Luckily, I haven't turned into a superhero. Struck the tree. In an instant, flames erupted, consuming everything around. The scene is terrifying, like nature's fury unleashed. I've got chills all over. What just happened? Peaceful scenery is now just a memory. Boom! A lightning bolt strikes the water. Then, kaboom! A massive column of water erupts, shooting into the sky like a volcanic explosion. Debris spirals through the air, and the once clear water is now a swirling mass of thick, muddy chaos. It's like nature itself is unleashing its fury. This is unbelievable. Absolutely terrifying. No, be careful. Another lightning strike hit your house. It's really dangerous.